Hello, welcome to JZA Television. I am your host, Janet Zinat Karim. Today, I want to talk about leaders. All leaders have a captive audience, whether they're leaders of a small organization, leaders of a big organization, leaders of national, regional, or international organization. They have a captive audience. And today, I want to advance to you that leaders, all leaders, whether they're in government, in the private sector, or even Boy Scouts and Girl Scout leaders or leaders of civil society organizations. These have got a voice, they've got a captive audience, and their audience listen to them. And in fighting the pandemic that we are currently undergoing globally, COVID 19, it is known as, all voices must be used in every part of the world. Whether you're starting from the WHO, that leader is his voice is very, very important. So are the voices of the men and women who work with him. The voices of our national leaders, whether it's a president, the vice president, the ministers, or the secretaries of the various government departments, the Queen, even has a role to play because all these leaders have got a captive audience. You cannot fight this alone. So the voices of members of the opposition, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans, or whether it's the Malay Congress Party, the DPP, or the UTM, leaders from these organizations have to be listened to. I really like the model from South Africa because one of the leading opposition leaders there, Justin Malema, he came up and said, "Hey, my people, all members of my organization, of my political party, please listen to the president." And from there, the president has been able to use Malema's voice because Malema himself came up and said, "We want to work with the government in combating this virus." This virus cannot be fought by one voice. This virus cannot be fought by one entity of government. Like, let's say, for example, the Ministry of um, Health. You need the Ministry of Education, you need the Ministry of Social Welfare, you need all these voices to come together. You even need the military. You cannot just depend on the police service. For example, if borders are to be closed, this is literally a war scenario. You close your borders during a war. So if you close your borders, as many countries are doing, you require the military in order to go over there and enforce the security of the people. Let me also talk about the voices coming from the social welfare departments of all the countries. There's something has to be done. If you lock down a country, for example, let's say you lock down Malawi, the country where I come from, you need to help the people in some way. You cannot just say, stay in your houses. Many of the people, the majority of the people are poor and they have got subsistent economy. They rely on going to the markets, selling whatever wares they have, and then earning some money and buying food. And it's food for the day. Not everybody has got refrigerators. And in the days of load shedding, where the electricity supply closes off your electricity, even if you have a refrigerator, you cannot rely on, let's say, buying food for 21 days because I can't go out. Government says I must not go out. And then 24 hours, 48 hours, the refrigerator is not working because you don't have access to electricity. The electricity has been shut off. You need to have something from the government in order to assist you. So I am proposing that perhaps ESCOM in Malawi does not go through with the load shedding program that it usually does. I'm also suggesting that the news airwaves, the radio stations, the television stations, they be opened up to other voices, all the voices. In fact, I used to like the model that Kamuzu Banda used to have, the former president of Malawi. He used to have. Whenever he went to an organization or a meeting, all the other voices from the village headman would speak, then the area headman, then the chief would speak, then the MP, then the regional governor for that area would speak, then the minister would speak, who would then invite the president to speak. All these people would speak before the president spoke. So you're hearing from all the leaders in that particular area speak before the president speaks. Then the president speaks. Right now in Malawi, we are not following that model. What we're following is just the president speaks or the ministers speak. And then we don't hear voices from the other people. Let me tell you, we're shooting ourselves in the feet if we don't allow other voices to be heard. And in order for those voices to be heard, actually, we should also have, I've spoken about ESCOM, no more load shedding. I'm also speaking to MACRA. MACRA should reduce the fees that it charges over all the television stations. We're very, very fortunate that we have television stations, more than just one in Malawi. We've got lots and lots of television stations. If MACRA reduces the fees for these people, for these radio stations, for these television stations, then those platforms will not be charging so much money for these voices that I'm talking about that need to be speaking. You need to talk about the wearing of masks. People have to wear masks. People have to wash their hands. People have to stay inside, not go outside, of their homes, and just keep indoors. And that requires a lot of communicating to a lot of people. And singular voice, the president's voice, is not the only voice. The minister's voice is not the only voice. You need voices from all the other sector of the country. I also would like to speak to what government can do or should do for the people of Malawi. We've seen in many other countries that some governments have reduced taxes. Maybe that's enough, but that's not enough. If people have got subsistent living lifestyles, they're eating, they're buying food on a daily basis. Give the people something that will enable them to buy food, that will enable them to keep them inside their homes, so they don't go outside. They don't have to go outside to get food or to make a living. Give them something, whether it's $50,000 or not dollars, not $50,000, 50,000 Malawi kwacha. Give them that money so that they can have a livelihood. They can have something in their pockets to buy. After all, when people are getting sick, they have to go and buy medicines. They have to go to the hospitals. How are they going to get to the hospitals? They will need some money in order to hire a taxi to get to the hospitals so that they can get attended to. These are the things that I wanted to share with you, but I would just like to underscore what needs to be done when we are in a pandemic. Right now, Malawi has got 24 confirmed cases of COVID-19. This is a terrible number, and that number can grow. And it's terrible, and it's not good, because the health facilities in the country are not that good. They they are overwhelmed already. Now you add the COVID-19 cases. That's going to just burst the health system. So what do we do, Malawians? I'm asking you. I'm begging you. Please stay at home. Stay inside. It's just 21 days. Stay inside, listen to your leaders, and I'm hopeful that after the meetings on Friday, that all the leaders will agree and they will all have a platform on which to speak on, and the airwaves, especially the Malawi Broadcasting Corporation, will be opened. Please, Malawians, stay at home. It is for your own good, and it's for 21 days. And I'm telling you, it will stop the virus. The virus will not get any further. Wash your hands frequently, and wash your hands for 20 seconds. 20 seconds washing your hands. It's not just, washing your hands 2 seconds and you're done. Wash your hands with soap 20 seconds. And if you go outside, if you have to go outside, please wear a mask. This does not have to be any fancy mask. It doesn't have to be something that is bought from the store. You can take a duku and put it over your mouth and your nose as you go outside. And if you cough, please cough into the crook of your hands. If you sneeze, into your hands, into the crook of your elbow. And we were going around saying, okay, if you're gonna say hello to somebody, go like this. I'm advising you. That's not safe. If I've just sneezed into the crook of my elbow is carrying those diseases. If I am COVID-19, if I'm positive, okay. So don't uh, greet with a shake. Just wave. I think President of Uganda had it correctly. President Yoweri Museveni. He says, "I will just wave at you. I don't need to shake your hand. I don't need to elbow bump you either." Okay? So let's stop with the elbow bumps. Let's just wave. Hello, how are you? And in fact, we will not be doing too much waving or greeting with anybody because we're just keeping in our houses. Stay in your houses, please, and teach the little children. Let them understand what is going on because you don't want your children to just say, "Oh, mommy and daddy says we must not go out," and then when mommy and daddy are not looking, they go outside because they think it's funny, it's a game. Tell them why they need to stay inside and why they need to wash their hands, why they mustn't touch their nose, their eyes, or their mouths, or their face, any part of their faces. They shouldn't do that. We do that, naturally and subconsciously. But let us stop this. Let us get get to actually consciously prevent ourselves from touching any part of our faces. And if we touch anything, any surface, go and wash your hands. But the most important thing I wanted to say today is leaders. All leaders have got a captive audience, and all leaders must be given a platform, must have easy access to a platform through which they will be able to reach um, their members, the members of their organizations or political parties. The parliamentarians have got a role to play. The councillors have a role to play. The judges, the judiciary, they have a role to play. Just as the executive, the president, and his men and women in the cabinet, they have a role to play. Everybody has got a role to play. The media is one of the most important tools in this fight because it is there. It also has got a captive audience. So people, as they say, oh, the media, they're not doing their job. They're not doing this. The media is doing a fantastic job globally everywhere. I know the media, we are trying our best. And when we have our leaders listen to what we're saying, how we're reporting, it's great. It's great. And we know when the leader is listening because they implement some of the things that are being said through the media. This has been Janet Zinat Karim on JZK Television. Thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you another day. Bye bye.